Hey everybody, welcome to Crackpot, the podcast where each and every week we dive into a different conspiracy theory and we discuss the merits or the demerits of each. I'm professional. We're your hosts. I'm Tim.
And I'm Zach. Off to a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Real great start.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it. Okay, hey man. I love these. Honestly, I say this every time. I love these types of shows.
We are doing an infamous grab bag style episode. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Not even a theme, just a little bit of everything.
You're right. Because the last one we did, kind of a UFO thing.
Good point.
Couldn't help it.
No, this time, this is truly a grab bag here today. And I want to say, before we jump in too far, in fact, we get a lot of questions about what is the scoop with this other feed that you guys have with other shows that we want to get access to. And so I always forget to break this down and explain it.
Okay, break it down. I'm going to set a timer. You have 15 seconds.
All right. Patreon.com/crackpotpodcast.
What do you get?
Over there, $3, $5, $7 a month, whatever you pledge, you get access to a Discord server. You get access to a weekly bonus show, and you also get access to then the conspiracy show.
Yes, the Every Monday show.
You get two
shows. Yeah.
You're basically getting 2 episodes a week of Crackpot.
Yeah.
So
except the Wednesday, Thursday show is a little bit different, but still fun.
Different format, very fun show. It's award-winning. Okay,
you're done. Your time's up.
I was told we have to plug that more.
Okay, fine.
Anyways.
You're probably right.
Anyways, yes. So check that out. Take a look around.
Good.
And okay. So should we just jump right into this here?
I want to hear what you got. You're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, actually I am. And I have the notes on my phone, which is why I'm looking at my phone. I'm not like
it's
texting.
Very rude.
My tablet ran out of power. Okay. Anyways, Tim. Are you familiar with? Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm going to say you are familiar with something called reCAPTCHA.
reCAPTCHA? That's just the "Are you a robot" thing?
Yes, exactly. So basically, when you go on a website, usually kind of the last thing you have to do before you submit something, sign up for something, is you click that little box, or sometimes it'll ask you to type out the word.
Yes,
and the word will be kind of like written in a funny way, maybe a line through
it. Are those case sensitive?
Thank you for asking.
I don't even know if they are.
Sometimes, listen to this, I actually cannot read them.
I am the same way. I'm like, am I a robot? Like, am I in a Philip K. Dick novel? What's happening?
Oh, very interesting. That's a nice angle to this conspiracy theory, too. Which is, you find out that you're AI or something like that. Yeah, no, but seriously, so there's a couple different versions of this reCAPTCHA. Like I said, it has the scribbly writing with lines through it.
Yeah.
There's also the picture one, which freaks me out.
What's the picture one?
I hate this one. It is usually a grid, like a 3x3 grid, and in each box is a different picture, and it's like, click on the one that has a stoplight.
Oh, yeah. Click on everything that is not part of a bus.
Yes.
Right. Okay, now with that, I also hate them. They're weird. They're unsettling. But like if the bus is just like in one corner of like the box, like do you click on I click on the box because like the bus does creep in there.
This gets me every time.
Like what's the right answer?
Exactly.
I don't know what the right answer is.
And I don't know Jeremy reCAPTCHA. I can't ask him personally. But it drives me nuts because those existential life questions creep into me.
Is this box part of the bus? Is the bus part of the box? I don't know.
Exactly what
I don't know.
And so I find it deeply disturbing. The other thing too is like I feel some serious anxiety/stress when I'm clicking on those things because that's usually the last step.
It is.
And I want it to like get submitted.
Just shut up and take my money.
Yes.
Why do you need to know where the stop sign is? Like,
exactly.
Honestly.
So to me, I'm like, ugh, this whole thing. But
okay.
Here's what's interesting. I learned quite a bit about reCAPTCHA, and before I go too far, I'll state what the conspiracy theory is.
Okay.
The conspiracy theory is that we humans are actually being used to train artificial intelligence. So in other words, especially with like the pictures of signs and buses and stuff, what we're doing is we're helping Google's artificial intelligence capabilities to like recognize different shapes and figures and different types of things.
Oh my God.
Which is in turn used for things like Google Maps, in turn used like for Tesla self-driving vehicles.
Oh my God.
So we are basically just helping the machines learn, Tim.
We are part of Skynet.
Can I just take it one step further?
Yeah.
We are the machines.
Welcome to the machine.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So real quick, before we go any further into this, how does that sound?
Terrifying and accurate.
Yeah.
Like, why? You're right, though. They're always like a street scene. It's
Yes.
like, where's the crosswalk? Where's the stop sign? Where's the bus?
Mm-hmm. What you're doing, in essence, if you believe this conspiracy theory, is that you are helping Google figure out, in and amongst its fancy math, its algorithms, all the stuff that will then in turn be used for other platforms. You're helping it learn.
Wow.
For free.
So maybe there is no wrong answer when you click those things. Should I just start clicking the wrong things?
So this would be like sabotage.
Yeah.
You would be directly, the blood would be on your hands.
No.
Right?
The blood's on your hands if you do it right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't win. You literally cannot win. And also, you can't pay for the thing you're trying to pay for.
There's
sign
also
up for.
that part, yeah.
So yeah, it's a lose.
Okay, so I mean, is there more to it? Like, is there?
That's the conspiracy theory. Okay. So let me back in. Like, as soon as I read this, I'm like, there's got to be something else here going on.
Yeah.
So I dug into reCAPTCHA and what it is. And it's actually very interesting. So it came about in the late 90s during the Alta Vista craze, right?
Oh, I remember Alta Vista.
The good old days, the good internet, right?
Right.
And exactly as you stated at the beginning, basically programmers and these different servers or whatever had to figure out whether or not somebody was a bot. Hence, and computers, of course, very good at reading linear text, right? Mm-hmm. They aren't capable sometimes of distinguishing like a quarter of a stop sign from half a one or whatever, and so therefore that the human brain can take that next step and can say, okay, that's part of a stop sign. I can see the color, I can see part of the shape. I know, it looks exactly like it. So that was the idea, and it started out. The original form of reCAPTCHA was just called CAPTCHA.
Yeah, which is what I thought it was until this episode.
And it stands for Completely Automated Public Test.
No way.
Yeah. And as I said, it's basically a way for them to figure out if you're a human or a bot. But here is where it actually gets interesting. So it started out very simply as those squiggly words, lines, dashes through them. And then they got to be more complex. And so hence these conspiracy theories. Now, that's because, of course, AI has gotten better.
Yeah, they can figure out the letters in the box probably better than we can, honestly. Like I honestly have like failed on those multiple times and like had to refresh the page before. They're not easy. Or like, then you click on the audio. That's usually where I go to if I fail twice. Have you done that? Like listen to it instead?
That. Yes.
That is creepy. It sounds like number stations is what it sounds like.
Yes, it does.
There's your number station tie-in. But it's unnerving. I don't like any of this.
It's like an artificial intelligence arms race, if you will.
Oh, man.
The AI against the humans, against the AI, so on and so forth. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, so as this has gotten more and more complex, I've also noticed a trend, which is really super interesting, which is now it doesn't even have you fill out a box. Like it might just, or I'm sorry, I should say, it just has you click on a box.
Yeah.
Have you noticed those?
No.
Oh, this is like the latest in all of this. So we're going to go off-road, kind of veer away from the conspiracy theory for a minute and then come back to it. But basically now the next evolution is you just click a box.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about, what is that?
That actually freaks me out more because I'm like
click here to show you're not a robot. It's like, are you serious? Like a robot can't click a box?
Dude, that was exactly it. I'm like, give me a word to misspell. Right. Give me a picture that I can't click on. Like, I want to prove to you.
I thought that was like pre-reCAPTCHA. Pre-CAPTCHA.
Those who do not study their CAPTCHA history are doomed to repeat it, I'm afraid.
so weird, though.
Let me give you the scoop on this one. This is the latest version. This is the furthest along in the evolutionary chain. And what it is when a human clicks a box, and they move their mouse, they almost never make a straight line. There's some natural you kind of wiggle it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe you're trying to like move the mouse to see where it is.
Here.
And so the computer knows, whatever's validating this thing, that it's not a bot, because a bot would go straight to the box and click.
Yeah, it's just like the closest, direct line.
Exactly.
Oh, that's creepy.
So it looks at your mouse movements and it looks at your cookie history.
Oh my God.
And it says, oh yeah, okay. Well, this is
okay, side tangent off a tangent.
Yeah.
What really freaks me out and I hate are those pop-up ads, essentially, like when you're reading an article and then you start to move your mouse up to the back button or up to the URL and it's like, it's like, are you sure you don't want to sign up and get 17 articles free a month? It's like, whoa. It's like it knows that I'm going away even before like I consciously know that I'm like done with the article.
Mm-hmm.
Freaks me out.
I hate that so much. Yes, seriously.
Anyway,
going back to the conspiracy theory. So, again, coming back to this, we are, in short, training the computers, the AI we are helping Google perpetrate.
Is it a bad thing?
Okay. Do you want the official stance or do you want the exact stance on this?
Official, it's evil. No. Okay, what's the official stance?
Well, the official stance is that there's some privacy concerns.
Meaning what?
Basically, in and amongst all this, you are... because it's going to look at your browser history, your cookie history, all those things. It's going to take the next step and figure out.
It's okay. I see what you're saying.
A little bit of an open door there.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is.
But besides that, just on its face,
yeah,
I don't think it's that bad.
So you're saying, okay, besides the security concerns, besides multi-billion-dollar corporations and anyone on the internet with a knowledge of hacking or anything can see what you're doing at any given point.
Well,
but training cars or training, cameras or artificial intelligence out in the real world isn't necessarily a bad thing, in your opinion?
This is hard. This is hard because I feel like, okay, so just that by itself.
Yes.
Training AI to help people drive cars or help cars drive themselves, right? So people don't have to. Actually, you could probably make an argument that it's much, much safer, and so therefore you're helping the world. Because we all know humans are not good at operating vehicles.
True.
But think of it this way, which is, let's go one step further, and facial recognition, I'm sure there's some tie in there. Helping train these bots to do other things that could be nefarious. I mean, that's not good.
Man.
So it's a stone's throw from that, I think.
It is. And like, what's the next iteration of this going to be? Like click all the boxes of people who look a certain way or something like that. Or right. Who knows?
Exactly. And then I think also you could take the other stance, which is saying, hey, look, we're all just basically helping Google profit.
Well, yeah, it's hard to avoid it.
For free.
Yeah.
So
Man, I don't know. I believe it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
180,000%. I'm
That's
all
a real
in.
number. Yep.
You bet it is. And a real
it's
percentage.
a giant pie.
Yeah. No, there's no other reason to do it. It's creepy, and I don't like any bit of it. What do you think?
So I think that, we're both helping. Well, we're helping Google profit.
Yes.
We're helping AI learn.
Yes.
And there's probably a whole bunch of ripple effects, collateral damage that I'm not even thinking about right now that are all part of this. So,
jeez.
But
that's awful.
I guess that's how they...
awful topic.
Yeah.
Why did you dare bring this up?
Hey, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, Tim.
Okay.
Which is basically now we're not spelling out those words. We're not clicking on those boxes.
It's like I could actually get to the next step of the process. Yeah, you are right.
The machines are now smarter than us. They know if we're, an idiot human and our mouse shakes every time we click on the box. So
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay.
I'm all in.
Yeah, uncomfortably so. Okay. We've talked about this before. I don't remember what episode it was. Maybe you do. Doesn't really matter. But we've talked about the infamous Stephen Hawking time travel party.
Yes, we did. It came up.
Right. I can't remember either, but it's come up. Probably in some sort of time travel episode, most likely. Real briefly, can you summarize it, or do you want to? I got it here in front of me if you don't want to.
Well, go ahead, but I remember it.
Sure. So Stephen Hawking, obviously, very famous theoretical physicist. He studied time and things that I can't even begin to understand what he studied. But anyway, he said, look, I got the simplest solution to figure out if time travel's real. I'm going to hold a party. I'm going to hold a party for time travelers, but I'm not going to advertise it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? No one showed up. And therefore, he proved, to himself at least, that time travel is not real.
Can we pause and talk about Stephen Hawking for just a tiny bit? Because
absolutely, yeah.
He took some theories, such as time travel and aliens,
to
a level that I'm not comfortable with, which is, number one, when it comes to time travel, he's like, nope, don't do it, can't do it. I mean, really, like, he did not believe it was possible, et cetera, et cetera. I think, hey, if we can do it, we got to do it.
Got to do it.
The other one is the alien angle. He's like, do not, don't
advertise that we're here. Shut up. Stop looking. Stay quiet.
Nothing good will come of us letting them know we're here.
Stephen, go back to your black hole theory. Like, come on, your Hawking radiation, everything else. Let the real brains of the operation talk about aliens and time travel, please.
And so, I just want to say, for the record, I think he held this party.
Yeah.
It was somewhat like tongue-in-cheek, right? It was like this.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't. In a way.
Really?
Well, I don't know what his, I don't know what his like true motivations in his heart were, but so this happened at Cambridge, where he was a professor, June 28th, 2009. And then, he had cameras there, and basically, big banner up. He had cake, he had champagne for these time travelers. But you think about it, 200, 300, 40 years in the future, doesn't matter.
Sure.
If you knew that there was a time traveler party, a party for time travelers with Stephen Hawking's, wouldn't you go?
Okay.
Right? I mean,
truthfully, I wouldn't go. Would you go?
Yeah, I probably would.
I'll tell you why.
I think, tell me why.
Because I would want to travel time covertly. I think that's kind of the point, right? I mean, I would say, we're not going to like advertise ourselves.
Okay.
No doy.
Yeah.
What's your stance on this?
Let's think about this.
Yeah.
So obviously, he didn't advertise it. Like I mentioned, after the party, he printed up, flyers. He printed up invitations to a party that already happened, which to him doesn't matter. If you're a time traveler, you're gonna get wind of it eventually, right? Maybe that's the official story.
Sure.
Okay, and this is kind of tongue in cheek, but also I think it's worth talking about because everyone mentions that, and it's always like this. Well, it obviously doesn't exist, but let's think about it. Basically, like how we're thinking about it now. It is possible. There's several different explanations that could have happened whereby people did not show up.
Okay.
The first one is, and this is kind of out there, but bear with me, the party, and this would be the party with time travelers that actually did show up, took place, but it took place in a different reality, a different timeline.
Is it weird that my head was already there?
Yeah, no, because, we've been doing this for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you look at the John Titor, you look at just any sort of, different theories about time travel, and there's this idea of different timelines. It's like you can go back, but it's not the same exact timeline that you came from. So Stephen Hawking in our timeline held the party, but the Stephen Hawking like 2 or 3 steps over in a different timeline actually had a room full of people from different centuries, and they all had a blast, and they ate cake, and they had champagne, and they told stories, and then they all went back home. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not kidding. That was kind of the first thought that I had when we started talking about this. I'm like, well, maybe, he had guests, and it was just in a different parallel universe, different timeline, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. What do you think? 5%? 100%?
In this timeline is 0%, but maybe in a different one.
Okay, 100%. Good. All right, here's one. The reason time travelers did not show up to his party is because the invitations that he printed didn't survive long enough.
Ooh, okay.
So we all know about this because it only happened like 12 years ago, right?
Yeah, right.
But let's say that time travel isn't perfected until, 500 years from now, who the heck 500 years from now is going to know that Stephen Hawking held a time traveler's party?
Oh, exactly right.
Right?
That's the other place where my head went too, because I was thinking
your head is just in all the right places.
Oh yeah, well, don't mind if I do. Here's what I'll tell you. So I would say that this wasn't like a huge thing. Like, okay, let's contrast this party with like the Super Bowl, aka the big game.
The big game.
Everybody knows when it occurs, year after year, or heck, the World Cup or something like that, right?
Sure.
The point is, this wasn't a big enough event. Either A, the invitations didn't survive, or B, nobody really knew about it after.
Right.
Like, everybody's forgot about it after
Everyone's
100 years.
forgotten about it after 30 generations.
Yeah. So
that's not hard to imagine.
No, exactly.
Like, how many parties did Da Vinci have? I don't know. Probably a whole bunch. I couldn't name one of them.
Very good point. Exactly. So to me, it's like, this isn't proof positive that this isn't possible. So.
Here's another theory. Goes to what you said at the beginning. Once again, proving that your head is always in the right place.
Yeah, baby.
Time travelers are jerks.
Okay, that's not exactly what I said.
You said I wouldn't go. Who would go to that? Sounds dumb.
Just cake and champagne. Come on.
Yeah, like, come on, buddy. Spring for some pizza or something.
Yes.
Some Hot Pockets. Come on.
Yes.
But no, maybe they're like, well, yeah, but like if we go back, then he's going to be all blah, blah, blah. And I don't really want to talk to him. And I got cooler things to see. We can go back and look at the Renaissance. We can go back and look at the
pyramids.
The pyramids. Like, who wants to go to a dumb party in a conference room in Cambridge, England? Boring.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it's not only just A, boring, B, not cool, but also C, like I said, I know time travelers personally.
Oh.
You cannot, like the first rule is you cannot let other people know that you're a time traveler.
Dude, right? And he's advertising it. He's squawking about it everywhere.
Is there another theory to this, or can I add one?
I got.
Are there? Oh, because I got another one. Okay, but let's see if the one that's in my head is on your paper. Okay.
One of them is just more practical. Time travelers don't really have control over their time traveling. And they just, if we get to the point where we can prove, that it exists and we can actually do it, like, who's to say that you can land in Cambridge, England on June 28th, 2009, etc. Maybe you're just like, all right, see you guys later. I'm out. And you just show up and poof, I don't know, the middle of the ocean in like 40,000 BC.
I love this one, actually. Yeah, because it's like, traditionally we think of time travel as, hey, you get in the car, right?
Right.
The DeLorean. And you're just like changing the numbers on the dials. This would imply, you're just kind of subject to whatever, physics?
Yeah.
Something?
Like, shoot yourself at a black hole and see where you come out. Who knows?
Exactly. This is a very interesting angle to this. I like this one.
Okay. Maybe they did show up. And Stephen, in his infinite wisdom, killed all of them. I almost got through that with a straight face. Killed all of them to preserve the space-time continuum. Because if you just got a room full of time travelers, I mean, everything's going to get messed up. Everything's going to get jumbled. People are going to tell stories, ruin this and that and the other thing. And next thing you know, donuts are falling from the sky because who knows what, right?
Well, can you believe this one without him killing everybody?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Well, what are you saying?
Because, perhaps they showed up and he just didn't tell anybody.
Yes.
That would work.
That's my theory.
But the killing everybody part's a little bit weird.
I don't know how he would actually get away with that. I mean, you got a bunch of dead bodies in a conference room.
Exactly.
In a university. It's like,
it's not probably the easiest. The other thing too is that just because you kill the time travelers that show up doesn't mean you have taken care of that problem. There could be other time travelers that just chose not to show up.
True.
Getting back to my first rule of time travelers. Because they knew.
Which is you don't talk about time traveling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't tell anybody your secret.
Here's my theory, not on my list, but this one I always thought, what if they didn't come to the party, okay? And there's a little video of him, with the champagne and the cake and the big banner and an empty room. You can find that out there. But what if, they pack up the cake and they give him a slice and he puts it in his fridge and whatever, and he goes back to his office. And then in his office, there's half a dozen time travelers just sitting there. And they're like, Stephen, you can't talk about this, okay?
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Promise you don't talk about it. We'll answer any question you got. Here we are. We're going to zip away after this. We got like 15 minutes, so go. I don't know.
That would be super interesting,
It'd be awesome.
actually.
It'd be awesome.
One I was thinking about, too, was, getting back to this idea that, you have all these different dimensions and perhaps different time paths. I don't even know what to call them at that point.
Timelines.
Sure, timelines.
Yeah.
A time path, a timeline.
Either way, it
it's different in the Southern Hemisphere, yeah. So what it is basically the party hasn't occurred yet in a different timeline.
Oh, interesting.
And so in a different dimension, there will be visitors, but that particular path hasn't been taken yet.
Huh. Fascinating. Sounds like no matter how you cut it, we're both kind of agreeing that maybe we're not getting the full scoop here. We don't have the whole picture.
Correct. Yes.
Whether that's intentional on Mr. Hawking's part or not, there might be more going on.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. I'm in agreement.
All in?
100%. Yes. Actually, unironically, yes.
Me too.
Okay. So next one I have here, a little bit darker. I'll just leave it at that. A little bit darker. The Conspiracy Zach. I'm just going to start with that, and then you can tell me what you think. SONY, the music company, had Michael Jackson killed so that they could secure the rights to the Beatles' discography.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of what the motive here would be in this situation, right?
Money.
Okay. And
money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. Yes. I know you don't want to believe it. I don't blame you, but
walk me back again though, because Michael Jackson bought the rights to the Beatles albums, correct?
Yes, and I'm going to go through like all the steps to get us here.
Yes. Okay. But just on its face,
But just on its face, do you think a music company, a publishing company would kill the owner of a very, very lucrative set of songs to make money?
Short answer is no.
Okay.
Because I would think that Michael Jackson alive is, maybe, I don't know. I was going to say worth more than when he's dead, but maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Okay. I'm officially 50-50.
Okay. Ooh, it doesn't take a lot to get you there. Okay, let's step back a bit. Paul McCartney, you know him best as the main bass player in Wings. He also...
These Wings jokes never get old. He's a Beatle.
No, he was a member of the Wings. Before that, he was in a little band called the Beatles. You might have heard of them. Doesn't matter. Most important thing is the Wings.
But some awesome Christmas music, too.
That is the worst Christmas song. That and the one by the Beach Boys are the worst Christmas songs. Don't even... You just said that to get me going on a rant.
Open invitation. Paul McCartney. Sir John. Sir Paul. Yeah,
we'll call you anything you want. It doesn't matter. Come on the show. We'll talk.
Debate us.
Right here. Right here.
I'll buy another mic to get you on the show.
We'll spring for... I'll bring your own mic. We can't afford another mic. It doesn't... So... All right. Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. They were friends. Once upon a time, in a better day. They were buddies. They were friends.
Okay.
And they actually did a couple songs together. One of them is This Girl Is Mine, co-written by Sir Paul. And the other one is Say, Say, Say off of a McCartney album. Doesn't matter. But they collaborated a bit in the 70s. Okay. And one day they were sitting down and talking, and Paul said, "You know what, Mike? I got some financial advice for you. Plastics." That's a graduate joke. Okay, no, but he said, "Look, a incredible investment to make is buying other people's publishing rights, buy the song rights, because it just makes you money, and it just gains value over time. Like it is." An incredibly smart investment. If you have just, millions of dollars lying around, just go buy some song rights.
Exactly.
And Michael said, yeah, okay, seems like a good idea. Guess what?
The old switcheroo.
Old switcheroo. So before that happened, Paul and his friend John, you might know him from the Plastic Ono Band, they wrote a lot of songs in their bands before that, the Beatles, and their manager, Brian Epstein, set up a publishing company called Northern Songs. You may have heard this from a George Harrison song called Only a Northern Song. Doesn't matter. But anyway, Paul actually, after the fact, kind of a side note, some of the rights he owns, like Buddy Holly. He owns all the rights to Buddy Holly, which I think is pretty darn cool. Mm-hmm. Like if anyone owns the rights to Buddy Holly, I'm glad it's Paul. But mid-1980s, the Beatles catalog was owned by an Australian billionaire, and he wanted to get rid of it. He wanted to offload it. He wanted to make some money. Some more billions, I guess. And he told his lawyer to tell other lawyers, and this was just kind of common knowledge. And the lawyer approached Paul and approached Yoko, who, John was passed at this point, and neither of them really wanted to bid on it. They're just like, a little bit too pricey for me, but, thanks. I'm okay where I'm at. Michael Jackson got wind of this. And through a series of negotiations and a couple years passed, Michael Jackson bought the rights to the Beatles songs for $47.5 million. Paul was not happy. Now, if you kind of look at this, it's like, well, you didn't own it before then. So it's like, exactly. What's the rub, huh? I'm not going to try to get into it, into his brain. But right. Paul was not happy. And basically, the two of them never really spoke again. And after Michael died, Paul just kind of tried to gloss it over. He's like, oh, no, we drifted apart. It was natural. Mm-hmm. And this was it was a rub, but it wasn't it's sure. Like, dude, you were mad you never talked again. Mm-hmm. We can probably leave it at that, and that's probably fairly accurate. But after that happened, Michael really commercialized the catalog. I mean, you start seeing Beatles songs in commercials, you start to see it in movies and all over the place. Paul was not happy with this. Because to him, these were his songs. These were his creations. Exactly. And he's like, stop commercializing my creations. He's an artist, right? And a very wealthy guy, but an artist. And anyway, in the 90s, Michael Jackson sold 50% share to the Beatles catalog to Sony, and it's Sony ATV. I'm just going to call it Sony for clarity, for $95 million. Not a bad investment.
And that's just half.
That's just 50% of it. And he bought all of it for 47.
Exactly.
Like a decade before that.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah. Now, Sony, I guess the most recent acquisition in the news was the entire Dylan catalog.
Yes, that was very recent.
Like a month ago. And it was, I read a couple articles, it's estimated between $300 and $400 million.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. I mean, the guy has 39 studio albums, and I'm sure he'll put out another 10 before he, croaks. But wow. So also Roy Orbison. They have Hank Williams, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift. This is the company that owns everything you hear.
Yes.
Okay. So they got money. They got a collection. Maybe a means, maybe a motive. I don't know, Zach. 7 years after Michael Jackson died, just to give you a sense of how much the catalog's worth now, or at least, 5 or so years ago, Sony paid Michael Jackson's estate $750 million for the remaining 50% of the Beatles.
Wow.
So that wouldn't have happened. He would not have relinquished that alive. They wanted it. Trust me, they wanted it. And they had very deep pockets to get it. Interesting timing that happened. So Michael Jackson died June 25th, 2009. The Beatles remastered box sets. So they remastered them in stereo and in mono, which, by the way, if you can get your hands on them, incredible. Both of them. For their own reasons. They remastered them and released them September 9th. 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. Do you know how much time and effort it takes to put into remastering one album, let alone the entire Beatles catalog, let alone both in mono and stereo?
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't have been able to release them while Michael still owned 50% of them.
Oh, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, conveniently, it's like, oh, ta-da. And here they are.
Yeah. Huh.
So bring it back to the question, Zach.
Yes.
Did Sony kill Michael Jackson in order to get the remainder of the Beatles catalog?
So they definitely had the motive. They definitely had the means, because you can assume that they had the money to pay for a hit person or whatever. Conceal a death of some sort.
Make it look like an accident.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I do.
Do you really?
No, but I feel like we're going to get sued by Sony.
Yeah,
now.
You know. Allegedly. All of this is couching. Okay, now we can't get sued. Good. 3 years of law school.
Okay, so the timing is suspicious.
Timing is very suspicious.
I would say. So that's not a good thing to me. That suggests maybe there's something else going on. But also, no.
I'm going to say also no, but it is interesting. I mean, it's not fun. I don't mean to say that this is a fun or a funny topic, because at the end of the day, you're talking about someone dying, and that's not fun or funny. But it's interesting that, like, you can start to, you can see there's a little kernel of truth.
Yes.
Which is what makes it interesting, I guess.
The numbers are so astronomical when we're talking about this money that it's like, okay, maybe it makes sense. If it's like $100, it's like, okay, no, it's stupid. But like, this is hundreds of millions of dollars.
Many hundreds of many millions.
No, yeah. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If you were the CEO of Sony,
yes,
would you have Michael Jackson offed?
No, because our corporation is going to be around so much longer than Michael Jackson.
I was trying to catch you in like...
Yes. I mean, no, back it up.
We can't edit the show.
Oh, shoot. No, because I mean, like, just the... No, it would make no sense. I mean, besides all the legal ramifications, which, like, besides being tried for murder, it's like, just wait.
Can you imagine, though, if that came out later that this was true? Like, what would happen? How insane
my God,
that would be.
I don't even, like, yeah, no. That would be insane.
The speculation. Oh, gosh, it's worth it. It's worth it. I love it.
All right, well, that's what I got. So
okay, fair enough. So, Tim, I have a couple of rapid-fire conspiracy theories here.
Ooh,
none of them
lightning round.
It really is. We got to come up with a name for this one.
The lightning round?
Crab bag. Well, I'm trying to think of how we misspell it and all that stuff. It's almost like the sports corner.
Oh, yeah.
But it's lightning round.
Lightning is spelled with a Q. I don't know.
Okay. Let me let's start with a little bit more serious one, and then we'll go into the less believable serious ones. But they're fun. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Edit that out. Okay.
Tim, if you could name, besides like Big Pharma,
yes,
another company that perhaps has done very well despite a global pandemic.
I would say like Uber Eats and Netflix.
Yes. Netflix. Because
Jerome, we're all theoretically supposed to be staying home and watching Netflix, right?
That's exactly it. In fact, when lockdown was first announced here in Minnesota, I mean, I don't remember exactly what was said, but basically the gist of what we were told by the government was stay home and watch Netflix.
Yeah. This is your pass. Don't do anything.
Yeah. And there was even some jokes, I think, online about like, hey, let's give everybody, like the government will pay for a Netflix subscription for a certain amount of time.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so first conspiracy theory related to Netflix and the pandemic.
Okay.
The most obvious, Netflix created the pandemic.
In their own Netflix lab.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, obviously.
They have access.
Besides that, I was waiting for the other conspiracy. Yeah, everyone knows that.
Okay, so Netflix, maybe they didn't, maybe the CEO of Netflix didn't, sit in a lab somewhere to create it himself, but perhaps they influenced it and or helped, get it out there.
Oh, sure.
Propagate was the word I was looking for.
Spread the virus around.
Yes, because there was a direct corporate profit to be made.
Sure. Well,
not unlike the Sony one, right?
Yeah. Well, Netflix, New Zealand, and Australia must really be being raked over the coals in those board meetings because they seem to have this thing under control. But
good point. But people did stay in and watch Netflix for a while.
For 3 weeks until they got it under control. Yeah. Okay. Sure. 100%. I believe that.
Sounds like
allegedly.
Okay, yeah. Okay. No, I don't think so either. And certainly some businesses have done very well and some have not. But the next Netflix conspiracy theory.
Oh.
And perhaps you could say this is also related to the pandemic, perhaps not. But basically that top 10 list that they have is, I'm going to say it's like modern, almost like Payola. It's like insider trading. Those top 10s are not the most popular 10. Those are ones that they're trying to like unload and or like push to get people to watch and maybe ultimately, because they're not getting the numbers they want around those movies.
Now this is interesting. This is, okay. First part, not interesting. This part, this is interesting. Well, okay, it doesn't make sense to unload a digital product that like is not going anywhere.
Yeah, or let me put it this way, right? The numbers are down on a movie that they thought would be huge, so they want to push it and plug it and make it look like it's more popular.
So side topic, do we have any sense of like how studios get paid from Netflix?
I'm sure they just have a license agreement.
Okay.
Well,
so, do you think it's like per
means.
view, like 10 views is same as like one movie theater ticket?
Without knowing anything?
Yes,
here's
exactly.
my guess.
Yes. I'm right there with you. Perfect. Don't anyone ever correct us. Okay.
They probably have some sort of thing where, they have probably different tiers of how many times something gets watched, and then they just pay a set amount, something like that.
Perfect. But I love the idea of the Payola thing. It's like, the studio says, we want more people to watch this. Here's a couple extra, I don't know, Lamborghinis and bags of money, allegedly. Okay, we're good. Put this on the top 10 list. I mean, exactly. Honest to God, how else would Tiger King get there? Right?
Yes.
That show was crazy.
Yes.
But we all watched it. Because guess what? It was in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe they pushed it to the top 10 and then like everyone watched it and it was in the top 10.
Right. And some of those are Netflix originals too. So they're also profiting in their own way because
insider
then they are
trading.
Exactly.
Also, I know nothing about what insider trading actually means, but I'm going to assume that is what it means.
That's the definition.
It is
when
in
Netflix
my books.
pushes its own originals.
Allegedly.
Hello. Yeah, absolutely. So anyways, Netflix, what do you think, man? Like,
no, I mean, all this aside, like, I don't think those top 10 lists or most viewed or most popular mean absolutely anything. I really don't.
And I look at those and I'm like, that movie looks like it sucks.
This?
Yeah, dude, 100%. I think that's like not real. And the other thing too is my TV does the autoplay thing. Like,
oh, it just goes to the next one?
Well, no, that's a cool feater. If you're on the menu, it starts doing like the trailer for the actual show.
Oh, you can turn that off. What? You can, yeah.
After we record, can you show me?
Seriously,
I hate that feature.
Oh yeah, because you have to like keep moving.
And
I mean, you understand the reason why it is there. It's so that you click on something and watch the next thing, because otherwise you're just scrolling and thinking and waiting, or even you just walk away and it plays the next thing. You're like, oh, well, this doesn't look half bad.
Drives me bonkers.
You turn it off. That was a new-ish feature. You have to go deep into the settings. You got to like hack the mainframe, basically.
It's gonna be like Mission Impossible, and I'm hanging from the thing, avoiding the lasers.
It is possible to turn it off. I'll show you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's pivot away from Netflix here for just a bit. I got two more wonky conspiracy theories here. They do require visuals, I believe. I wish I could just show this.
It's always good when you do a podcast that needs visuals.
Okay. What if Bob Ross...
Yeah.
The beloved painter.
Everyone loves Bob Ross.
Everyone loves Bob Ross. Was a serial killer.
Oh, Jesus. Don't say
and
that.
And his paintings are locations of where he hid the bodies.
That's awful. That's literally the worst thing I've ever thought of.
Okay. So you're not in on this one? No, I think so. So I think what you're saying is you're all in.
Jesus.
Last one.
Absolutely not.
Celebrity related here is, well, do you know Jason Mraz?
I know the name.
He's a musician.
Like, what songs do I know of his? I'm sure I know some.
You got to go back to like 2007. I don't even know.
I stopped listening to music in like 2008, so like I may know these.
There was a summer, I think, when I was still, actually might have been in college, even 2004, something like that, where like every song on the radio was his.
Good for him.
Anyways, okay. So every time, and this is true, every time I've seen him perform live, like on TV, like a SNL or Late Show or something like that, he's always wearing this stupid little fedora.
Is he? Let me see.
Every picture that I've seen of him.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I recognize him.
The conspiracy theory is that he's actually missing the top half of his head.
What?
Which is why he's always wearing that stupid fedora.
Think it through. If you're missing the top half of your head and you're a famous performer, you gotta wear a hat. You can't just go out there with the top half of your head missing.
Exactly.
They'll freak people out. You don't sell records without a top of your head.
Exactly. So what I would say is, Jason Mraz, prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong.
What do you got to hide under that fedora?
Come on over. By the way, bring your own microphone. We can't afford a third one.
That's right. Exactly right. So you're in on this one. Pretty low stakes.
Until he comes in and proves us wrong. Yeah. Jason Mraz is missing half of his head.
Yeah. I mean, every picture I've seen of this guy, just like this.
Always.
I think you're all in. I'm all in.
I'm all in. I don't even know why you have to question. Why you even have to ask.
Perfect.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this week. We like doing these. We like it when you listen. We like it more when you hit the rate, review, and subscribe button. And that's 3 different buttons. Look for them at the bottom of your app there. But anyway, seriously, this was fun.
Absolutely.
Let's do it again next week.
Sounds great.
Okay. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your local headless musician about our podcast, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.